Well, hello guys, and welcome back to the Modern Men Movement podcast. It's been a while since we sat down and actually got open and honest about what's really going on for us. What I'd like to say is a massive welcome to Jake Elliot that's coming on to see us today. Welcome, Jake.
Thank you, Lee. Cheers.
Not a problem, mate. So what's been going on? I know we've not known each other a long time, but I feel like you're a big part of my life, and I know that with the Modern Men it's become like part of your life on a day-to-day basis. So I know that we've only known each other, two or 3 months now. Obviously, Modern Men's been going for 8 months. You've been coming for probably 3 months. So what was it that made you walk through the door? Like, you can literally go into as little or as much as you want about where you're at, where you've been, where it took you, and really where it's going to take you and where you're going, mate.
Okay, so my kind of journey in recovery started back in November. So my life, and I'm sure we'll go into it, kind of hit a point where I'd hit rock bottom. I'd realised I was a compulsive gambling addict, and I kind of needed to find a way of rebuilding my life from the chaos that I'd caused. And so I decided to go to Gordon Moody Rehab, which is a gambling addiction specialist rehab treatment centre in Redditch. And then I kind of came out of there on the 9th of January, and that's where my life kind of recovery started. So I started going to all my Gamblers Anonymous, my different meetings for gambling, the Gordon Moody support groups. And I went for a therapy session, and the therapist said, "Have you tried Modern Men?" And I was like, "Never heard of it." Well, I got given a leaflet, and I thought, I don't know whether this talking thing's for me. I was still new to recovery in the groups I was going to, but I thought, turn up on a Friday night and see what it's about. And I've been a member ever since.
And a very valid member as well, Jake. And it's a pleasure to have you. And see a smile on your face now from the first day I met you. You're a million miles away from where you were. I know that you're not where you want to be. I know that it's a long journey ahead, like we all have. We're only at a place where we are now, but we've not come this far just to come this far. And I know that Jake's got massive plans ahead of him. But look, we'll let you go back into where you were, Jake. So that's me cutting in, mate. So I'm sorry.
That's right. So where do you want me to start? Do you want me to kind of start?
Start wherever you're happy, mate.
Yeah. So basically, I realised I had a problem when a year ago, actually, April the 26th last year, I tried to end my own life, and that was because of the gambling addiction and the dark and dodgy things I'd done to fund my gambling addiction.
No doubt there's lies, deceitfulness.
Lies, manipulation, controlling of situations. I was just in a dark place. All I cared about was gambling day in, day out, whether it was blackjack in a casino, and I'd been to many casinos, or whether it was online, it didn't matter. I just wanted to gamble. And my kind of, for ages, I think actually now, when you go to any GA meeting and you're in certain rooms, you know what it's like. You say, "I'm Jake and I'm a gambling addict," and it's normal. But back then, I don't think I was ready to say those words. And for a long time, I caused chaos, not really thinking I had a problem.
And I think that's where it stems. It's the realisation of, I'm not that bad yet. Do you know what I mean? I've not lost everything yet. But that yet soon comes. Do you know what I mean? And I was a bit the same with the drink, Jake. I wasn't as bad as him. I wasn't as bad as her. I hadn't lost my house. Do you know what I mean? I was still in a functioning kind of way. I hadn't lost everything. Which kind of gave me the green light to think that I didn't have a problem. And the reality of it is, as we all know, I had a problem, and it took me to a dark place, as it did to you.
And I think for me, it comes a point when you have to wake up and smell the coffee, when you've got police banging on your parents' door because they've supported you and they've let you be at home, and you're at rock bottom, and you've brought police to the door because of the actions, because of my addiction. You have to at some point wake up and acknowledge that there's clearly a problem and I've got to do something about it to fix it.
So obviously I know you said you tried to end your life, and I'm sorry to hear that. So what was it between you trying to end your life and you surrendering to go to Gordon Moody? So what happened within the months of in-between time?
Yeah, so it was a difficult period. So if I'm honest, I came out of my coma after all that kind of incident, and my nan for a long time, since about 2019, I've done a lot of caring and support for my nan. And my nan was getting really frail and struggling, and I was doing all her day-to-day and personal care. But to be honest, my nan was my world, but it was also a lot of pressure. So I cared for my nan, but I continued to gamble, thinking that I'd be able to win my way out of the problem I was in. I think gambling was, and I learnt a lot in therapy, there was various reasons why I gambled, but it was trying to control my life. And realistically, that's stupid, because when you're gambling, you've got absolutely no control, especially when you're doing it to the level I was doing it. But I lost my nan on the 1st of July last year, And like after the funeral and everything was out of the way, and I'd spent a few months kind of gambling, but causing chaos, but things had calmed down a little bit, which sounds ridiculous. Then it all started to come out of what I'd done, and obviously the police investigation, and I'd been arrested, and I'd still continued to hurt people I was close to and cause a lot of pain. And then I just got to a point where enough was enough, and the reason I'd heard about Gordon Moody is because one of my friends worked there, and I just picked up the phone and thought, pride has got to go aside for once in my life.
It has to.
And I said, Ryan, I need your help, mate. And he referred me through to Gordon Moody, and I had my assessment on the 9th of November. And on the 24th of November, I walked through those doors at Gordon Moody, and it was the hardest, the scariest. I was a wreck that day when I walked through those doors. I can remember my dad dropping me off in rehab. But in actual fact, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And I know that we've discussed this previous, Jake, and I know that you was broken enough to actually surrender. Do you know what I mean? You had no other way to go. You had no other option. And for you, and we've had this conversation only earlier on today, that rehab was your final destination because you had nothing else. And you've blatantly said if you hadn't gone to rehab, you'd probably still be gambling now. We probably wouldn't be sat here having this conversation because you'd still be stuck in all that carnage and madness, doing what you've always done, expecting a different result, and that is absolutely insane.
It's mad. I've just got a shiver down my spine because I was actually thinking if I hadn't gone to rehab and accepted and surrendered my problem and accepted recovery, and even come to Modern Men as a member, I genuinely don't think I'd be sat on this sofa today.
Massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because there was only one way that gambling was taking me, and that was effectively to another attempt on my life. If I'd have continued gambling, I don't think I'd have made 2026 for certain.
But can I honestly say, Jake, I'm so glad you have. You're a valid part of society. Do you know what I mean? The things you're doing now to give back to guys that are still in mad gambling addiction, you still go back to your rehab. You do more meetings in a week than a lot of people will ever do. Do you know what I mean? Like your commitment to the cause for you to get better, and the way that you help others is, mate, it's absolutely outstanding. And I'll take my hat off to you for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a lot of time for you, Jake, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I say, from that first day I met you, I knew there was something about you. I didn't know what it was, but now I do. Do you know what I mean? Now, I know you've been an arsehole. I know you have. But you're open about that. I know you've hurt people. I know you've ripped people off. I know you've robbed people. But you're a good person that's been in such a bad place. But today, you're a good person that's getting better.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Good people make bad choices.
I've done it myself.
But it's about owning it, holding your hands up, accepting help, and then working a way forward. And I think for me, the biggest way I get help is, obviously it helps me focusing on my recovery. I do a lot, and at times it can be draining. But your quote always stands out to me when you say, when you're feeling shit, you need a meeting. And when you're in a good place, the meeting needs you because you can add to it. And I think that was like what you said to me on the first
That was
night.
week one.
Yeah, and
I stick by it.
I stick by it. I live by it. Every room I go into, the two things for me, you're saying, and the opposite of addiction is connection. And the opposite of mental health struggles is connection. And that's why Modern Men has been, I think, as I said, I think we discussed it earlier, I think I've missed 3 meetings since I've been coming in January. And the only time I don't come is if I'm physically not able to. If I'm in Leicester, I'll be there because it's great to see the lads, see the brotherhood, but it's also great to kind of, if you've had a crap week, talk about it. If you've had a good week, talk about it. And that's the beauty of those rooms, whether it's the GA rooms, Modern Men room. But I think the thing that stood out to me about Modern Men, and I love about Modern Men, is yes, I'm a gambling addict, but you've had drink problems, you've got all different issues in that room, but we all come together and have proper honest conversation, whereas GA is just about gambling, or you don't mix with other people, and that's what I love about Modern Men.
And what I love about it, Jake, if I'm totally honest, and obviously you know how passionate I am about it, is the fact that at the end of any one night on a Friday, we'll have an 18-year-old guy go and hug a 70-year-old man and say thank you. Like, there's nowhere else that I've ever been in my whole life where that camaraderie and that unity is so apparent. Like, when people come for the first time, they're walking as if like, what am I doing here? Why are these guys laughing? Why is he joking with him? Why is he doing this? Because you know yourself, and the guys that come and those that are yet to come, once them doors close and we sit down, shit gets real. Do you know what I mean? How many boxes of tissues do we get through crying, may I add? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In years gone by, the guys that we got through tissues and other, mate, honestly, it's a beautiful thing that we've got going on. and the growth is absolutely phenomenal. Like, you know yourself, like the people that we come, like if you met them anywhere else, like, and you had a conversation with them anywhere else apart from where we are, we'd either get sectioned, arrested, judged, or all free. Do you know what I mean? Because some of the conversations we have in them rooms are massive. But where else can you get away with that? But you can actually put your heart on the line and put your cards on the table and go, I'm fucked. I need to be less fucked than I am now, and I can see you're less fucked than me. Yeah. So what do you do that you can do to help me? Because I need some help.
And I think that's the beauty, right? I've grown another recovery family in that room because I've got people that have had gambling addictions and other addictions and are clean for 10 years. But there's also people at all different stages of that journey. And that means that like when I've had a rough couple of weeks, which I have, there's no getting away from. It means you've got people to lean on and be honest with and be real. And as you say, when shit does get real, your recovery circles are the boys that you count on rather than...
What I've noticed as well, and I had this conversation with a couple of guys the other day, like I feel quite guilty sometimes because I'm the figurehead of what we're doing and a lot of people reach out to me. What I tend to do is, if I've got one problem, let's say for instance if I'm having a bit of a wonky week around drinking thoughts, what I'll do is I'll pick up the phone to another lad that's in that room that has the same feelings as me. If I go in there and I'm a bit lonely, I'll pick up the phone to another guy who's in that room that I know has been lonely. So I use the tools that we have amongst us to be able to cope. Because there's no point me ringing you and asking you about drinking because you ain't got a clue. There's no point me ringing up a carpenter and saying any chance of a joint of beef, mate, because he ain't gonna have a clue what I'm talking about.
And I think
we have to deal with what we've got, with the people that we've got, and use the knowledge and the expertise of the guys that have walked before me. Because we're not experts. Do you know what I mean? All we've got is our own experiences, and to see someone that's walked before us that knows a little bit more than we do, why am I not going to reach out to them people?
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's about being real enough to when you are struggling, lean on people, whether it be obviously I reach out to you for recovery advice, but I've also got some amazing mates that I've met in both the gambling sphere through Gordon Muda, through GA, through all the meetings that I go to, and then I've also got people I've met on TikTok that might be halfway around the world. In Australia, I've got a guy that I connect with that was an ex-gambling addict. Kind of that's the beauty of it. It's about reaching out to someone that you connect with, whether they're at the end of the phone or whether you meet them in person or whatever.
Well, look at those guys that we met down in Portsmouth the other week. I mean, they were rival fans. I mean, I'm not into this rivalry thing, but if you're looking at a football fan and a football fan that don't support the same team, the fact he came over and noticed what we've got on our hoodies and said, what is this about? Do you know what I mean? And he was genuinely interested in what we had to say. And it was such a conversation starter. And like, obviously one of the guys that also come to the meetings is in Spain at the minute. He's a minister of the church. Do you know what I mean? He's a man of faith. But the amount of conversations he's had this week at the side of the pool or in the solarium, when people have either clocked his t-shirt or clocked his wristband and gone, can you explain what this means? And do you know what? And like you say about the logo or the wording, it's just a conversation starter. And I think, well, it's clear that conversation's massive because that's why we have everybody come on a Friday night. Because conversation is key. But I do say as well, Jake, and you know I say it quite a lot, is if you've got nothing to say, please sit and listen. Because listening is just as important as talking. I don't learn by talking, I learn by listening. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, like everyone that knows I can talk to teeth off a saw and I do on a regular basis. But when someone needs me to listen, I'm quite capable of listening.
And I think that's one thing I've learned as well, is I can talk a lot, you know I can. I've been in sales all my life, I've got the gift of the gab. But the thing that I like is sometimes I just go to meetings and do exactly that. And just listen to what other people are going through and what other people are saying. Because that's also a part of recovery, I think.
Of course,
learning to listen rather than think you know everything, which when we're active in addiction, you think you have all the answers.
Of course we do.
And yeah, it's just crazy.
It is mad because everything that we do we think is right. We think that everything that we know is correct. We take nobody's advice on anything because we're selfish as fuck. Do you know what I mean? That was me. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything about nothing. That was my problem. Do you know what I mean? I thought I knew everything.
And I thought I was a good gambler.
Yeah, mate. You're clearly not a good gambler, mate. You're looking at court. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're in the shit. But the thing is, there's a consequence to actions. You know what I mean? Like, I know we have this conversation quite a lot. Like, that you feel kind of, why can't they just deal with me? Why can't I just get my sentence out of the way? Whether it be suspended, whether it be bail, whether it be whatever it may be. Obviously, you're looking at some punishment. Yeah. And I know that you don't mind me talking about that because I know that we're quite open now. But realistically, what is that looking like?
So it's kind of, I'm on bail at the minute. It's difficult to kind of know, but it could come with a custodial sentence. Obviously, I'm working hard now on my recovery and being gamble free and making amends for what I've done. But ultimately, it's in the judge's hands really. When I do get charged by the CPS.
So what is it that you're on charge for? So what is the offence?
So effectively, I'm looking at several counts of fraud by false representation.
Right, which
is basically whether you class it as stealing money, borrowing under different terms. That's what it is basically.
So I mean, and you don't have to discuss this. Do you know what kind of figures you're looking at?
It's hard to say an exact figure, but we're looking at around about 200k worth of fraud, which is probably slightly more. It's hard to put an exact figure on it, but that comes with sentencing guidelines of around about 5 to 6 years. Could go up as much as 8. It all depends on the judge on the day.
And I know, obviously, I'm not as clued up on anything as you are around your gambling and the court cases and stuff, but I know that you know that there's going to be some consequence, and rightly so. I mean, You've done wrong, as a lot of us have, and there is a consequence for actions. But what I like about you, Jake, is the fact that you know you've done wrong, you've held your hands up, you've gone, actually, yes, I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
Please just deal with me. Do you know what I mean? So you can move forward. Because I know the last few weeks, especially the last few weeks, and we've had this conversation, like, you're more muddled up and foggy now you're not in addiction than you was. It seems to me, from the conversations that we've had and that I've had with other people, that you're doing everything in your power to get better. You're doing everything in your power to be the best version of Jake Elliot. Yeah? The world has got other plans. Because everything that seems to go wrong at the minute will.
Yeah.
You knacker your own car, you borrow a car, that goes tits up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You get yourself back on a financial straight, that goes tits up. You start borrowing money, promising to pay that back, it's like you're back in addiction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you feel like you're still stuck in that old rut with a clearer head. That must be an awful place to be.
It's, at the end of the day, as you say, you do the crime, you do the time, and you've got to pay consequences for your actions. I think I'm doing that already, because I'm living a sentence in this before I've even been sentenced or even before I've been charged. So I think there's that, but I think you have to own it, you have to accept it. I know I've done wrong, but that wasn't the Jake I am sat here today, that was the gambling addict Jake.
Yeah.
And I know now that I'm 5 months, 23 days gamble free, so this time next week it'll be 6 months gamble free, and I know that I'm a better person for it, and I can't change what I've done. I've hurt people, and I've hurt even the people closest to me. My mum and dad, I don't know why they still stick by me, but that's what parents do, I suppose, because the pain I've caused for them, I mean, I've ripped them off, I've taken loans out in their names, I've done all sorts, and they're not pressing charges. So I'm thankful that people still stick by me, and I've got the people around me that I need around me, and I just need to work on being a better version of me.
And you are doing?
Yeah, remaining gamble free.
Which you are doing?
Keep showing up for my meetings.
Which you are doing?
And now doing all I can to help other people, so that whether that be through my TikTok or my channel, if anyone wants to follow me, is The Odds Against Me, and that's all about my gambling journey and kind of where I'm at. If I'm struggling, what I've got going on, all of that, I talk about it on there. Or whether it's kind of help. So I've replied this week to be a Samaritan, because I just want to give back now. I can't change the decisions that I made and the choices I made that brought me here today, but at the same time, if I can now help and, like Modern Men does, save one other person, then winner, chicken dinner.
And that's what it was about for me. It was about giving back. I tried to reach out on numerous occasions, Jake, when I was struggling, and it fell on deaf ears, because they was always like, "Oh, Lee, you all right? What have you got to worry about?" Do you know what I mean? Like, what I had to worry about was everything, because I couldn't deal with myself. I couldn't deal with my emotions. Do you know what I mean? So I had to do something about it, and you know what? This has saved my life. And we all know, like, it's quite apparent that a lot of conversations that we have within the room or without, like a bit like the Samaritans, we've saved lives. Do you know what I mean? Just by being there for these people. But something you've just touched on really resonates with me. Do you know, like you were saying, your mum and dad stuck by you at times when they definitely shouldn't? There was a post I put out the other day on social media. I was literally out shopping with my mum, and she was waffling about something as my mum does, and I just thought, here we go. And as I've turned around, I've looked, and she's actually got one of my hoodies on. And I thought, for everything I've put her through, and for every heartache that she has had because of me, she's actually stood in a shopping centre with my hoodie on, supporting her son through thick, thin, and she's proud. She's proud, and I never ever thought my mum would be proud of me ever again. I thought the damage was done, but I suppose a mother's love is something that, I don't know, it's indescribable, I think. And those mothers are out there. I'm sure you know what I mean with the love that you have for your children. And I take my hat off to all you mothers and fathers. But like, I can only speak on behalf of myself. Like, my mum's she's played both roles for me, and she's done a decent job. You know what I mean? I've not turned out a bad lad. Yes, I've not always done the right things, and I've not always made great choices. But I can honestly sit here today knowing that the things I'm doing today are for the right and for the good of God. It's amazing, and I love what I do now. And to see these guys come through and actually want to come and sit down and actually talk about what's really going on for them, that means more to me than any drink that I've ever consumed, than any victory of any part of my life. Like, the victories for me now are the ones that I see in other people. And for that, I thank every single one of you for supporting me when I really didn't deserve any support from any of you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that.
And I think I'd like to add to that as well. As I say, talking about my mum and dad, like, mum and dad have been massive. I've been blessed with both parents. They have been really supportive. I mean, if it weren't to them finding me when I tried to end my own life, I probably wouldn't have made it either. Like, my dad's in his 70s and suffers with the stress of, he's got 3 of us, but I cause him a fair share of that headache. But even like coming out the other side of rehab, the only thing I really struggle with, I say my mum and dad have been amazing, but the thing I struggle with is my mum often still gets a lot of the shit for the action. Although I'm paying the consequences, I still feel like my mum has consequences for just backing me and backing even though my actions have been shitter, because she took my side and stuck by me, which is what mums do. She does get a lot of shit, and I mean, I've talked openly about it at group and with my therapist. I struggle massively with shame and guilt because of my actions. I'm not proud of what I did. I'm not proud of the people I've hurt and the people I've ripped off, but I'm trying to be a better person now, and that's kind of, and I owe it to my parents, and I owe it to myself, but I just want to make my parents proud, and that's kind of why I'm on the journey I'm on now, because hopefully one day I'll be able to they'll be able to look back and think, yeah, he was a gambler. Everyone knew I had a gambling problem in the end.
Apart from you.
Yeah, apart from
yeah, you just thought you just liked gambling. Not very good at it, clearly, but what you've said there, Jake, like, again, resonates with me. Like, I mean, it chokes me. Like, it's the guilt and shame that I can't deal with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I struggle with guilt and shame. Like, part of my attempt to take my life was to do with guilt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt really guilty against my ex-partner's daughter. I still live with that guilt today. I'm in a better mindset with it. I've had a lot of therapy over it. I have to let it go, like, because if it don't, it will eat me away. Do you know what I mean? And I think you've got to do the same thing. Yes, you're always going to carry guilt because they're your parents. Do you know what I mean? But it seems to me, and I know like I've just said about my mum, she's proud of me now. She's forgiven my actions, and I'm sure your mum and dad at some point will forgive. It takes time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen overnight. You've got to start proving yourself, and you are doing. Yeah. You're showing up when you say you're going to be there. You're not gambling. You're doing exactly the things that you're supposed to be doing, and your trust will be regained. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, your relationship with your brothers and that, you see, everything's coming back. And I do say that about addiction. Like, you give up addiction, and everything falls back in. Because someone did say to me, and I've had this on a podcast with a previous guest, and he was like, somebody said to him they had to give up one thing to get everything back, and he was like, great, I can do that. The problem was he had to give up everything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he was prepared to do that, and you know what? He's doing really well because he took some advice from somebody that had walked before him.
And I think that's the thing, right? I had 2 choices. I'd come to a point where I'd lost businesses, I'd lost cars, I'd lost everything. I lost a partner I was engaged to and I thought the world of. But the problem was even though I loved her so much at the time, gambling was always a priority. It caused so much stress because I don't think she realised the extent of my gambling problem, and it certainly got worse after she decided to end it, like, before the wedding. But it caused me a lot of pain, but I think I had to go through that pain to kind of get to where I am. So it went from bad gambling to worse gambling, and obviously committing crime to fund my gambling. But then I wouldn't have. I've still got time. Do you know what I mean? I've got time to turn my life around and be a success again, rather than have gambling overshadowing me for the rest.
And you can't do that because the minute you let it overshadow you, you can't move forward because it'll always be, oh, what about if, and what about when I did that? They have to go. Them thoughts have to be gone. They're not easy to get rid of because of the guilt and shame.
Yeah.
You hang on to it as a human being. You'll hang on to that. What you have to do is let go of that and move forward. And look at the stuff you're doing, man. Like you're looking at business setups. You're looking at moving forward. Because that's the only way you've got, mate, because you ain't going backwards. You can't afford to go backwards.
And that's the thing, the serenity prayer, isn't it? Accept the things we cannot change and basically move forward and work on the things we can. And I was quite lucky because when I was in treatment, I found my faith, so I got baptised at a church in Redditch. And faith massively helped me part of the way there with shame and guilt. But I think the rest is just keep going on the process I'm on, keep working on recovery.
One day at a time.
One day at a time, yeah, and just kind of, rather than, I've always been like set time and deadlines of when I want to achieve things, and I just think in recovery you can't do that as much. You just, it will be what it will be, but as long as you're taking one foot in the right direction every day, and you remain, and some days, on the bad days, I just have to say to myself, as long as I didn't gamble yesterday, I don't gamble today and I don't gamble tomorrow.
No intentions of gambling tomorrow.
Enough. And if I'm honest, I'm at a point where I don't, it's a weird one. I'm at a stage where I kind of hate operators and hate celebrities that work with operators. But then I'm also at a stage now where I'm coming out, like at the end of the day, 95% of people can have a bet or can gamble and it not be a problem. I was just part of that 5% that when the fun stops, I didn't stop.
But that's the acceptance. You know that. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that you know it and you've done something about it, mate, there's a lot of people that die in addiction. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, you nearly did. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people, unfortunately, that we will bury. There's guys that will come and sit down and speak that 1 week won't be there, and they won't be there out of choice. They'll be there because they're not here no more. Do you know what I mean? We are lucky. We're lucky. We've both had them attempts, and we're both sat on a settee tonight, just talking, just getting it off our chest and just being honest and open about what's going on. A lot of people don't get to this stage, so thank you so much, Jake. Like, to have you here with me today is absolutely amazing. Got a lot of time for you. Like, you show up when you say you're going to show up. So, mate, thank you so much. So for those, if Jake just wants to plug his TikTok and his social medias, if you want to follow his story, Jake, please take it away.
Yeah, so the odds against me on TikTok, and yeah, if I can help anyone or you need some support in the gambling space, then that TikTok will help you or guide you on what you can do to get into recovery and sort of work on being a better person.
And if you need any advice or any support on the Modern Men Movement, we are www.modernmenmovement.org. You find us on all the socials, get in touch. Please remember, do not suffer in silence. I did that and it didn't end well. Please, 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 please reach out if you feel that you need some support. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Lots of love.